Damascus steel is a type of steel that has been cloaked in mystery and folklore for centuries, and its name comes from the Syrian city of Damascus. Damascus was famous for the unusual patterns it featured, as well as its exceptional strength and sharpness. However, what precisely is Damascus steel, and where did this amazing steel come from? Damascus steel can be traced back to the Middle East in the 3rd century, where its production first began. It's supposed to have been crafted by skilled artisans of the city of Damascus, who utilised a one-of-a-kind method to produce a steel that was more resilient, sharper and flexible than any other steel available at that time. The steel was produced by fusing together two distinct types of iron, one that was high in carbon and the other that was low in carbon. This technique is also known as pattern welding, and it resulted in the creation of a steel that featured a characteristic pattern which was claimed to imitate the motion of flowing water. Damascus steel was a fascinating material, and the stories and mythology that sprung up around it were just as fascinating. It was reported that the steel was so powerful it could slice through a rifle barrel, and it was so sharp it could cut through a silk scarf without even leaving a mark on the material. Damascus steel has become one of the most sought after materials in the world, in large part due to the traditions that have been passed down throughout the centuries about how it was made. The history of Damascus steel and the history of the Middle East are invariably linked to one another. Damascus, which at the time was a bustling hub of commercial activity, is credited with being the place where it was originally manufactured. The steel was put to use in the production of swords, knives and other types of weapons, and it gained rapid reputation for its durability and acuteness across the entire region very rapidly. It was also utilised in the production of tools and other products that required a high level of sturdiness on the part of the material. Over the course of several centuries, the knowledge of how to create Damascus steel was gradually lost. The city of Damascus was taken over by the Mongols in the 13th century, which resulted in the knowledge of how to make the steel being lost. People have been searching for the key to making Damascus steel for hundreds of years, but it has remained a mystery throughout that time. In the 20th century, numerous attempts were undertaken to produce Damascus steel that was identical to the original. After doing research on the steel, metallurgists and other scientists came to the conclusion that it was produced by combining two distinct forms of iron, one with high carbon and the other with low carbon. In addition to this, they found that steel was heated and cooled at particular temperatures in order to form different patterns. Damascus steel is created using contemporary processes, making it superior to other forms of steel in its strength, sharpness and flexibility. Damascus steel is used for making knives, swords and other products. Initially, layers of high carbon steel and low carbon steel are welded together to make the steel, and then the steel is heated to specific temperatures before being cooled back down again rapidly. Damascus steel is characterised by its unusual patterns, which are created by hammering and twisting the metal after it's been formed. Damascus steel is utilised in the production of knives, swords and other types of decorative goods in the contemporary day. As a result of its one-of-a-kind patterns, it is also utilised in the production of jewellery, watches and several other luxury items. Because of its high strength and sharpness, including its flexibility, it is ideally suited for the manufacture of knives and swords. Knife aficionados, chefs and collectors have a strong demand for modern Damascus knives because they are regarded as works of beauty and because they are very collectible. In conclusion, Damascus steel is a variety of steel that has a strong and illustrious history that has been cloaked in secrecy for many years. It is formed by mixing two distinct forms of iron, one which is high in carbon and the other which is low in carbon. It is famous for its strength as well as its sharpness and flexibility. Damascus is credited with being the city that first created this steel, but the city's inhabitants were unable to pass on their knowledge of the craft for many hundreds of years. However, with the help of contemporary techniques, it is feasible to recreate an authentic Damascus steel and put it to a wide range of modern applications. If you've enjoyed this video, please give us a like and consider subscribing. I really would appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.